Today we're going to explore the incredible story of the Xakriabá. They're the largest indigenous people in the state of Minas Gerais, Brazil. And their journey, well, it's a powerful story about survival, identity, and the unbreakable bond between a people and their land.
Let's start right here with this piece of Xakriabá wisdom from Celia Xakriabá. This one idea, it's really the key to their entire story. What it tells us is that for them, survival isn't about buildings or physical things. It's all about passing down culture, memory, and skills from one generation to the next.
So here's the path we'll take. We're going to look at who they are today, uncover their long fight for their land, feel their deep connection to nature, understand how they keep their culture alive, and finally, see how they're building a future that's still rooted in their past.
All right, so let's start with who the Xakriabá are right now, in the present day. First off, there are over 9,000 of them. So we're not talking about a small, vanishing group. This makes the Xakriabá one of the most numerous indigenous peoples in all of Brazil. They are a vibrant, growing nation.
You'll find them mainly in São João das Missões. And here's something that might surprise you. They have some serious political clout. The Xakriabá have actually held the mayor's office there for the last 4 terms. It's a pretty amazing example of indigenous self-governance working within the larger Brazilian system.
But getting to this point, having this kind of stability and power, it wasn't easy. This modern reality was forged in a long and often really brutal history. And that brings us to their centuries-long struggle for the right to just exist on their own land.
This timeline really shows the roller coaster they've been on. It all starts back in the 18th century. After violent clashes with colonists, they actually received a formal land grant. But then in 1850, a new law basically ripped their rights away, opening their home to outsiders. The conflicts just got worse, leading to the heartbreaking assassination of their leader, Rosalino Gomes de Oliveira, in 1987. But that same year was a turning point. Their land was finally officially recognized, and they even had more territory added in 2003.
And this is what Rosalino said before he was killed by gunmen hired by local ranchers. Eu prefiro ser adubo, mas sair daqui eu não vou. It's just an absolute statement of commitment. It shows you that for the Xakriabá, the land is worth more than life itself.
So what is this land they fought and died for? It's the Cerrado, a huge tropical savanna. And for the Xakriabá, it's not just a place on a map, it's the very heart of their world, both physically and spiritually.
I mean, their territory is just teeming with life. It's home to animals like jaguars and giant anteaters. It gives them fruits like peki and bariti, provides all the materials they need for their crafts, and it's like a giant living pharmacy of medicinal plants. It's a land that has always sustained them.
But here's the heartbreaking part. That richness is now in danger because of severe drought. As one community member put it so simply, they suffer because I no longer have that water. It's a painful daily reminder of how climate change and deforestation are hitting them right where they live.
The spiritual protection of this land is embodied by a being named Yaya. She often appears as a jaguar woman and is seen as the true owner of the land. She is their protector and an oracle they consult during their most sacred ceremonies, a direct link between the people and their home.
Which brings us right back to that quote we started with. It's not the house that has to last, but the knowledge. So how do they do it? How do these Xakriabá make sure their knowledge survives centuries of pressure? Well, the answer is in their unique way of looking at education.
Celia Xakriabá explains it with this idea of 3 stages or times of learning. First, there's the time of clay. That's learning by doing, like a child learning to make pottery from their grandmother. Then comes the time of Ginipapo, where ancestral stories are literally painted onto their skin. And finally, you have the time of chalk. That's the formal school system, but they've teamed it, adapted it to serve their own culture, with their own calendar and their own curriculum.
A key part of all this happens during the Ritual du Terreiro. It's their main ceremony, a powerful time of song and dance that brings the entire community together. And it's here, during the Terreiro, that their protector, Yaya, communicates with them.
To support this cultural passing of the torch, they've built the Casa de Cultura Xakriabá, the House of Culture. It's a modern space with an ancient mission, to make sure the elders have a place to teach the younger generations everything from traditional crafts and medicine to their sacred rituals.
So all of this leads us to our final piece of the puzzle, how the Xakriabá are navigating the 21st century. They have a term for it. They're building an ancestral future.
Their whole philosophy can be summed up in this one perfect phrase, um pé na aldeia e o outro pé no mundo.
They are determined to engage with the outside world, to learn its tools and systems, but always, always keeping one foot planted firmly in their own culture and on their own land. And you can see this idea in action everywhere. They use their political power. They use modern tools like cameras and websites to record and share their own stories. Their young people are going to university to become doctors and lawyers, to better defend their people. And they're creating sustainable businesses based on the fruits of the Cerrado. Their goal isn't just to exist, but to re-exist, to actively shape a future that honors their past.
The journey of the Xakriabá leaves us with a really deep question. And it's not just for them, it's for all of us in this fast-changing world. How do we embrace what's new without losing the essential knowledge that makes us who we are?